The sun burned low over the vast western plains, its molten glow spilling across endless dust as a lone wagon creaked forward, dragged not by horses but by the trembling hands of a pregnant widow whose breath shuddered out in ragged gasps, each step cutting deeper into the dirt as her 4 young children clung to the sides of the wagon, hungry, frightened, and exhausted from too many days spent outrunning the ghosts of the life they once knew. She whispered shaky prayers beneath her breath, trying to steady herself despite the blinding ache in her swollen belly and the unbearable weight of knowing her husband lay buried in a shallow grave miles behind her, taken too soon by a fever she could not fight, leaving her to push on alone with a wagon too heavy and a world too cruel. And just when her strength began to falter completely, just when her vision blurred with dust and despair, the thunder of approaching hoofbeats froze the breath in her throat because out here strangers rarely meant mercy. Yet as the rider emerged through the swirling haze, she saw not a group of bandits but one solitary cowboy, tall in the saddle, hat pulled low, posture steady as carved stone, and when he reined in his horse beside her failing wagon, she braced herself for theft or cruelty, but instead he climbed down slowly, eyes narrowing not with menace but with disbelief at the sight of a woman dragging a wagon alone with 4 terrified children watching from behind torn canvas. He asked where her team was, where her husband was, how long she'd been alone on the trail, and though she tried to answer, her voice cracked, strangled by grief too heavy to speak aloud, and the cowboy, reading the truth in her trembling limbs and reddened eyes, exhaled heavily, the kind of sigh a man gives when the world shows him something he wishes he could unsee before stepping close, placing a steady hand on her shoulder, and declaring in a tone that left no room for refusal, "You're coming with me," words, forged from steel and softened by unexpected concern, but when she tried to shake her head, insisting she had no choice but to push on alone, her knees gave way beneath her and she collapsed into his arms, and without hesitation he caught her, lifting her as though she weighed no more than a feather, carrying her gently to the back of the wagon, where her children stared, wide-eyed in confusion and hope. He spoke to them calmly, promising their mother would be safe, promising he meant no harm, and as he hitched his horse to the wagon with quick, practiced movements, the widow lay back against a pile of blankets, her breath slowing for the first time in days, disbelief swirling through her tired mind because miracles rarely came on horseback, but this one had. The wheels groaned as the wagon lurched forward under the strength of the cowboy's horse, and she watched him walk beside it, silhouette cutting through the sinking sun, each step strong and certain, and though she didn't know his river telling her the settlement was still a day away, but that he wasn't leaving her until she and her children reached safety. Those words struck her heart with a mix of relief and fear, because kindness like his rarely came without cost. Yet when she looked into his steady gaze, she saw no hidden agenda, only a promise forged from something old and deep within him. A promise he intended to keep no matter the risk. And though she didn't yet realize it, though neither of them fully understood the force pulling their lives together, this journey, born from desperation, grief and a stranger's command, was changing them both in ways they would soon be unable to ignore, shaping a bond that would carry them through the dangers still, waiting beyond the mountains. And as the wagon rolled into another breathtaking sunset, dust glowing like embers around them, the world seemed to whisper that a new beginning had taken root between the cowboy and the pregnant widow, a fragile but powerful thread of fate that would soon be tested by storms, enemies and choices that would define their future. And if you want to witness the rest of their powerful emotional journey, the heartbreak, the courage, the rising bond between two souls shaped by hardship, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now, because the next chapters of this gripping story are only just beginning and you won't want to miss a single moment of what comes next.